Yo, what's good, boys? If you don't know who I am, my name is Ethan Hayes, and I've done 1.5+ billion with a B views selling physical products, and I've turned those views into almost $1 million in lifetime revenue with organic drop shipping. And in today's video, what I've done is I went to my Discord with over 3,000 members inside of it. I made an announcement to all 3,000 plus members with a Google form that allowed them to submit their current products and accounts to me for me to go over them in this video. I went through everybody that submitted their products and accounts and basically just chose like 3 people at random. So what we're gonna do in today's video is you're gonna sit here and just kind of vibe with me as I audit their entire organic dropshipping business, anything from content to the product itself, websites, branding on these accounts, etc., etc. And as I go over these accounts, I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'm not gonna gatekeep. I'm gonna literally let every single thing that comes to mind fly and just let it rip. And I'm just gonna go through each one of these guys one by one, all their accounts, all their products, tell them what to fix, what to do, what not to do, what to stop doing, everything I can to get these guys printing more views and more sales. So I would stick around this entire video. There could be just that one thing I say that really makes it click for you, but regardless, I know throughout this video there's gonna be a trillion different golden nuggets. So without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with Tomas. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's tested around 15 products and he's been doing organic for 6 months, so not too crazy long. He's already done almost 1K in rev. He's done $900 in lifetime rev, but he's done 16 million views in total. What that already tells me is he definitely has a product issue. 16 million views with only 1K in rev, not a good sign. We're gonna go ahead and just start on his very first link here. So we have the plush artist. There's quite a few variations of these. They're Hello Kitty plushies for all kinds of different artists. These have been around for a minute. This product actually isn't horrible. At peak, it was doing around 2K per million views, and it was most consistent on IG. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot out of TikTok. Okay, as we can see, it looks like he already dropped it. Last post he made was the 19th of March. It's currently the 28th of March. I don't blame him for this at all. I would honestly probably say the same thing, considering this product is so ran through, so saturated. It's gonna be extremely hard to really get this up and cooking considering how ran through it is. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think or have this conception that, oh, the more saturated a product is, or the more somebody has made with a product, the less it's gonna make me money, which that's not how it works. It doesn't matter how saturated the product is. 9 times out of 10, if you were to go run it and actually get views for it, it's not like it's just gonna randomly start converting less per million views. It can happen. Saturation is a thing, but it takes a lot more than you think for a product to have market saturation to the point to where it no longer makes the same amount of sales per million views. For example, this product, if you were to go get this product to pop off again with the correct high converting content on IG, it would 100% still do 2K or more per million views. But I don't blame him for dropping it. I would probably drop this product as well. So since he's already dropped it, we're just gonna move on to his next account. The Snap Cam, this is a classic. So this product is an absolute banger, most definitely. At peak, when it was very first getting ran, with the right concepts, it was doing roughly 4K per million views. So from the looks of it, it looks like he is taking an entire different route. From the concept or the theme that I was talking about of the product converting at 4K per million views was kind of like this GTA vibe or late night rides, the cool car, they're going into a gas station, getting a drink. It really set the tone, really set this vibe of, hey, come purchase this to catch really cool vibes while you're out, having a late night drive if you have a cool car, whatever. But it looks like the route he's taking is a baseball POV route. So I'm just gonna shut up and let's play his most viral video. Okay, so first things first, overall, it sucks that he's done 16 million views and only 900 in rev because bro's low-key cooking. Like, he has the basics down. Lighting, really nice. Movements, really nice. Everything in here is aesthetic. I mean, all the way down to what he's wearing. It's just a very aesthetic video. It's very engaging. It looks nice and appealing to the eyes. Let me go back and actually do a little bit more thorough investigation into the video instead of just skipping right past it. Hook is great. POV, you can finally record your baseball games. This is going to be a decently converting concept because it's not too controversial. It's not super stitched and you're making up this random storyline. It's straight up, hey, here's my product. This is what it does. Look how cool it is. And it went viral just for that. Let's look into a few more videos, kind of see what he's doing now. Okay. So it looks like he went into split testing his most viral video. This is great. He's doing good thus far. And what I will say is, after watching that video, I've told people, I've talked about this product before, and I told people, listen, it's not going to convert at 4K per mil with you doing another concept outside of what was initially working with it, with the nice car vibe, the GTA vibe, unless you could come up with a vibe that was kind of at that same level of like, cool. He kind of honestly pulled it off, to be honest. I would assume this product is still doing 2 to 3K per mil with this concept. Let's check out another video. So it looks like he's starting to switch it up a little bit. You don't like to see this. Okay, this concept, this is what I was getting to, right? This is kind of what I was implying. How literally just the difference in what type of content you're creating dictates what the product will convert at. I promise you, if you did end up going viral with the sort of, here's a POV for my dog, 1K per mil or less. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And I'm pretty sure there was a lot of crazy controversy in there. With like dogs attacking each other and stuff. If I was him, I would 100% stick with this baseball game route. Of course, you can dabble in, the actual already known converting concept. Probably be a little bit harder unless you have like a crazy, crazy car, which is why I assume he went for the sort of baseball niche. I'm also assuming since he went for it so hard, he's a baseball player. So really, technically, in all reality, this is the best position he could be in. This is the best decision he could have made because he kind of has this sort of authority or one up on everybody else. Because I'm assuming he does baseball, likes baseball, or he's at least, he's very, very, he knows the niche. He knows the niche. It's very obvious. Now, let's get into, what did I see down here? So yeah, see, it's going to be really hard to pull off this sort of, late night drive concept. I mean, okay, yeah, just kidding. A Supra, I guess it's all right. Still, regardless, it's going to be a lot harder because it's so saturated, the concept itself, which goes back into what I was talking about with saturation and how it's not what you think it is. The actual concept of, hey, here's this product that every platform has seen a million times from a million different accounts with a car, with what I'm assuming a hook he stole from somebody else. So this concept's hella ran through. It's going to be really hard to get a concept like this up and ripping, which really in all reality is also, outside of this was still a really good piece of content, this 645K view vid, that's also probably what helped give him that sort of boost in virality. This is very original, not been done by many for this product specifically. So it most definitely helped him out. Now, if I was him in this exact position, of course, I would go and split test this a trillion different ways and then beg, hope, and pray that I get a primed IG because it's going to print 10 times harder on IG. In general, and this is kind of just a golden nugget for everybody, TikTok is going to convert literally 25 to 50% of what a product normally would convert at on IG. We've seen it over and over again, sometimes even less than 25%. So you can keep in mind for majority, 99.9% of products, what it's converting at per million on TikTok, it'll probably be 2, 3, sometimes even 5x on IG in terms of conversions per million views. Now, him split testing this was a good way to split test. He changed up the background, of course, changed up the hook, and it seemed to work out. Only 38K views. Let's watch this one really quick. Okay, not bad. I want to see if maybe there was something I missed in the super viral one before I move on to my next topic. Okay, so no matter what, this was so clean. When he moved on to the actual clips, I don't know if he's creating these himself or stealing them. Regardless, another thing I kind of noticed in this, they're super low quality once you actually get to the clips. They look a lot lower quality than the other ones. The saturation even seems down. Just seems like a little bit lack of effort, honestly, on your end in post-production, just putting the right filters on it to make it look as crisp as that viral video. So what I was about to bring this up. I like that controversy there. So as many clips as you can find of, somebody maybe running into somebody, that would be good to, don't overdo it. Don't make it too big of the theme of the video. That's going to be nice. That's going to help carry a little bit of engagement for a lot of these concepts while not taking too much focus off the product itself. So it'll still be pretty high converting. Based on what I'm looking at right now, so this is the exact same as the last one. With this in mind, knowing what we know from your most viral video, I would make sure, of course, you're keeping a big focus on trying to make the clips look as high quality as possible, because outside of just making an engaging video, you make the quality of the product better, so the perceived value goes up, so of course leads to higher conversions. But also, I would make sure it's daylight outside. It seems like a pretty obvious sort of pattern with all your videos where you're split testing, kind of getting cooked. Yeah, see, I knew it. Literally, I was in the middle of saying it as we're watching this video. It's outside. I would make sure no matter what, once again, this is just going into split testing, but I would make sure no matter what, all of my clips are outside. Outside. Am I retarded? Of course they're going to be outside. Daylight outside. I would hunker down on that as hard as I can. Probably wouldn't even create another one with it dark outside because not only is it unaesthetic, it's just, it does not look nearly as good. See, this looks really good. That's the type of replication we need. Here's a few things we can split test. This guy's not a beginner. His content is really nice, really aesthetic. He's got movements down, lighting down. Everything looks great. You just need fed concepts. You need to be optimally split testing. So you need to look at your most viral video here and try to dissect this in 10 different ways. From there, you'll normally have at least one outlier for you to then go dissect 10 more different ways. I'm not going to get into too much of that actual split testing into this video. If you guys want me to make an entire video on split testing, you can comment that down below. But I would split test minor things that people don't even think about. This background, of course, performed great. Maybe change the color of the LED in the background for a few different clips. Try on a different jersey for the hook. Take this text hook. POV, you can finally record your baseball games. You could dissect that and split that up a trillion different ways. First thing that comes to my mind is something like, POV, you caught your 2 home run game on video, or you get what I'm saying. I don't know the actual, like, legitimate terms. That'd be a really good way to split test this, like the actual, like what, like got a homer, some shit. I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt that. But next thing that came to mind is, this is where a lot of people miss out as well. Using kind of your audience and your comments to your advantage. So something I noticed, especially in this most viral video, is people always talking about the ump. Oh, they wouldn't let you do this. Yeah, right. Oh, they're not going to allow you to do this, blah, blah, blah. I would use that to my advantage. I would go and maybe create a few hooks, split test a few different hooks with something like POV, the ump is chilled like that, and let you record your game. What? Obviously make that a lot more, not wordy, but that's kind of where my head is at. POV, the ump let you get away with recording your entire game. POV, ump is chill like that, so you caught your home run on video. These would all be really good hooks. Another thing to split test, and another thing a lot of people completely throw out the window all the time, I see it all the time, I like to call them your twin caption. So when you have a winning hook, you normally have a twin caption. So a few different ways to split test this is you can see that this caption performed really well with this hook. So when you go to split test this hook, I would continue to make similar variations of that caption. Instead of now you can, I would have still went and used all thanks to this camera, or just thanks to this camera, using its twin caption that it went viral with. Another big golden nugget for you guys is, you'll see this a lot. Once again, this is something I'm currently split testing myself, but even me, myself, I threw captions kind of on the back burner for a really long time, kind of thinking like, of course they have their moments, but sometimes, you know, you'll all catch yourself doing it. You'll just go post a video and you'll just be like, oh, some bullshit, right? Just throw something as a caption, right? But I've noticed when you actually try on your captions, it really is starting to lead to more engagement and just better performing videos. And another thing I noticed is a lot of the time, the best caption is already a winning hook. So for example, he could have used this same hook, I wish I could record my baseball games, and made the caption, POV, you finally record your baseball games. And it probably would have performed better. And I know that's just a minor golden nugget. Do with that as you will. And finally, real quick, one last thing to go over with Tomas on this account with this product that would most definitely help you is I want you to go to the search bar, and there's a trillion different ways you can do this, but edits of any kind on TikTok, there's edits and edit theme pages for almost basically any niche or hobby out there. And there's a trillion different ways you can do niche research, but the blah, blah, blah edits or blah, blah, blah highlights are kind of just the fastest way to get there, or at least get you started in your niche research. So the very first thing I would do is look up baseball edits. And with Tomas knowing the niche, of course, he's going to be able to come up with keywords and stuff I couldn't. But then I will go look at it. Okay, this is a really old account. Probably won't help much. Let's see if we can find a old account. Are you kidding me? I'm not even logged into an account. I don't have the time to go through the whole process of logging in and figuring out which accounts are where. That'd be way too much. So we'll just stick with this. What I would do is I would try to find viral audios within my niche. So I would go find and click on an account like this. Of course, this one's stupid, crazy old 2022. But let's say this was current. Let's say you just found this and this video was from 3 days ago and it had already done 214K views. Let's find an even better one. Okay, so just for simplicity's sake, let's do this 800K view vid. Let's imagine in a perfect world where I'm not logged out of TikTok. We search, blah, blah, blah edits, blah, blah, blah highlights. In this instance, it's baseball highlights. You could do even more niche, certain team names, all that good stuff. You find an account that's currently actively going viral. You're going to go and find some of their newest, most viral content. Really, it's going to be best if it's within the last 7 days, but if you can't find one within the last 7 days, a month works, 2 months, just the most up-to-date sort of virality that they've had or the most viral video within your niche that you can find. You're going to click on it. You're going to make sure that audio makes sense for the content that your product demands. And now let's say this was from 3 days ago and it's already done 800K something views. Has a bass drop exactly like the previous content we were doing because it's kind of the only basic framework you can have for this product is just show it in some form or fashion as the hook and then go into some sort of stitched clips of what you're trying to show, the POV you're trying to show. So this fits perfectly. This would be great for this product. Let's say it was from 3 days ago. That would be a viral audio that we just found within our niche that we can now go with. Let's get back to the SnapCam account that we can now go and from the information we already have that we know of something that works, which is the POV, you can finally record your baseball games with a certain intro or a certain hook. And I wish I could record my baseball games, which you could split test a trillion different ways by just changing up the wording. You can now go and use this audio, many other like it that you find doing what I just showed you, and your views will 10x 1 trillion%. Now, for simplicity's sake, just because we spent so much time on Tomas, I'm going to try to run through his very last account really quick, and he's not even actively posting on it. Last post was 3/12, it's 3/28. This would be the closest type of product, though, to actual market saturation, like I was referring to earlier. This product is so ran through on TikTok Shop and organic in general. It's a good product, don't get me wrong. It does have a bit of a lower perceived value. You'd only be able to sell it at $15 for it to make sense. And really, honestly, in my personal opinion, selling anything less than $20, it just doesn't make sense because you have to get so many more sales to even make an actual large amount of money. That's another story for another day. To me, I would not run this product just because it does have that lower perceived value and it is genuinely so saturated and generated so much sales through all kinds of different avenues from so many different people that this would be the type of product that would get lower sales per million views over time. That's how ran through this product is. But nonetheless, outside of that and its lower perceived value because of kind of just how cheapy it is, like you can just tell it's just not a very high quality, expensive item. For those reasons, I would not run it, and I definitely would not run it at the moment. So once again, great job on go ahead and dropping that product. But given your current situation, Tomas, I would say get locked back in with 3 active products that you're running, learn how to split test a little bit more optimally, and you will be fucking printing in no time. Okay, so now we're moving on to Kiyasha. Kiyasha has tested around 10 products and has been doing organic for 1 year and 2 months with only $1,000 in lifetime rev and 6 million views. You do not like to see it. A year and 2 months, there's something we're doing horribly wrong. Outside of just kind of really being off and on, I just do not see how in the world anybody from anywhere after a year and 2 months hasn't already done, I mean, no matter what, more than $1,000. So let's see what Kiyasha's problem is. Okay, so he sent us straight to a video. Before we jump into that, let's just kind of look it over. It looks like he also ended up dropping this product. It looks like it's an account he just wanted me to audit, maybe look at some content. What I will say is product's not that great. 2 reasons. Converts less than 1K per million views, and it's an anime product. As you all know, if you've been, subscribed to me for a long time, I'm kind of like the anime product guy, and they just suck. In general, it takes a really advanced person to pull off an anime product because their targeting is so bad. With TikTok just getting trash, more and more trash, and their targeting only gets worse and worse, it's almost impossible to run an anime product. Like actually run an anime product good and get good views and good sales without your targeting getting fucked up. Because naturally, you would do niche research when starting to run a product and to get good concepts for a product. But the niche research you do for these products, the sounds, the names, everything about them leads you to targeting a foreign country, all kinds of different foreign countries. They end up everywhere. So with that being said, automatically it kind of has me a little bit reserved. I would probably never run another anime product again. I just recently actually tested running an anime product. And what I realized is I thought I could go into it, okay, I'm advanced enough, I'm gonna make this work without doing the proper niche research. I'm gonna try to basically jump over and make it over these speed bumps of all this bad targeting issues. And I went into running it thinking, okay, if there's anybody that could pull this off, it would be me. So I'm gonna try to run an anime product without doing any of the things that allow you to really run up an anime product, like use their trending audios, use trends from the niche, use the names of the animes. And very shortly, I realized even with great content, at least great content for what the product demanded, it was almost impossible, bro. Niche research is an absolute must, and using things within the niche is almost an absolute must, especially just on TikTok. So I literally could not get the product to go viral until I dove into niche research, which then of course went to actually cooking the targeting. So then when I actually did get the product to pop off, which I took it to like 2,000 or 3,000 followers within like 12 days, less than 2 weeks. Okay, we're back. Somebody tried to call me. We're back. Forgot what I was saying. But yeah, ran it up less than 2 weeks, 3,000 followers. But by the time that happened and I did the thing that actually generated sales, the account was cooked. Started to convert a lot less than it actually did. It was a product that converted at 4K per mil on IG. It was converting at still honestly like 1K per mil. But regardless, I knew if I continued to run it, I would be cooked. It would just be a waste of time. It ended up probably converting $100 to $200 per million views because the targeting ended up so bad. But that's enough about anime products. I'm sure a lot of you already know that. Now let's get into his actual content. Okay, very obvious. Use native text. Sure, you'll see posts getting away with like all this different text, like a glowing text or just different fonts, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not native and you're gonna have a lower likelihood of going viral with that text. For simplicity's sake, and just another thing to not have to split test, I would always just stick with the native TikTok text, the black outline native TikTok text. Every piece of content ever. It's the most native. It's the most native to the viewer's eyes. And this, when they hop on social media, 9 times out of 10, this is just what they're expecting to see. Let's hop on one more piece of content. Okay, so 3 videos in, he's basically just replicated the exact same video over and over and over again. This is not optimal split testing. Something as small as Gojo or Sukuna as the text hook. And for a split test, he just changed it to Sukuna or Gojo. That is split testing. These are the minor details a lot of people actually miss out on. But outside of that, that must have just been a fluke on his end because the rest of his split testing is absolutely horrible. Toji or Gojo. So this Toji or Gojo hook, Gojo or Sukuna. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, I see this so often. Guys, if you post a video and then 2 to 3 variations of that video and every single one of them don't get views or don't do good views, move on, split test more, make new concepts, do a little bit more niche research, not just within your niche, but also other drop shipping accounts to find out what to physically do with the product itself to actually go and make a different piece of content. Because I can promise you for a fact, it will never work, especially on TikTok, starting from very beginning to end, copying what you saw your best competitor do and just spamming that video a trillion times. It doesn't work that way. You have to add in some sort of originality factor at some point to really get a product to pop off, especially when it's so ran through. Last thing on this account, what I noticed is I want you guys to watch his movements. Pay attention to his movements. To me, with the eye I have for content, I can tell the movements are so not confident. This is actually another great golden nugget for you guys. Do all of your movements with the utmost confidence you can. Reason being is because when I'm looking at this piece of content, I'm looking at it and it seems so forced. Like I can tell he's 100% copying this video from somebody else. His movements are so kind of weird and they seem like almost out of place, or, you know, you can see that little tiny 0.5 seconds before and after of him not moving where he just quickly does the movement, right? Move with more confidence. Make all your movements more confident. It makes the video 10 times better, 10 times more aesthetic. This is kind of honestly my own assumption, but I just feel like the viewer at least me, myself, can just genuinely sense when you're awkward, kind of awkward with these sort of movements. And it looks so much better and honestly makes you create better content when you go into it just by doing something as simple as like getting in your mind like, I'm the shit. I'm the best organic dropshipper to ever exist. Watch how fast and watch how good I create this banger piece of content and watch how many views it gets. I'm him. Every single video just like that with your movements. None of this like, oh, I'm going to start and stop because that's exactly what he, like, just let it be natural. Let it flow with confidence. You'll automatically notice your content being 10 times better. Trust me, go try it. So for you, Kiyasha, there's not much to go over. Of course, you need to fix your content. If you're still doing organic drop shipping, which I'm assuming you are, I wish you would have sent me some more current products to look over. But no matter what, I hope your content has improved. It's been 3 months since you last posted on this account. Regardless, you need to split test more optimally. Don't do such beginner things like just spamming the same video over and over and over again. You absolutely must try out new audios, try out brand new concepts. Literally something as simple as just going to find another drop shipping account and copying one of their concepts and just replicating your product with it. Anything you can besides just spamming the same concept over and over. You'll never get a product to pick up like that. I would have never picked up that product to begin with. So overall, I think you just need to spend a lot more time just locking in, trying to perfect the craft. For you doing this for a year and 2 months and only making 1K in rev and 6 million views, that is not good at all. You need to just sit down, watch some actual good educational YouTube videos like mine, then leave YouTube, never look at it again, and go and create the best content you can day in and day out until you are sitting there getting views and looking at yourself like, wow, my content has gotten dramatically better, because there's something you're doing wrong with such little improvement after such a long time. Okay, now let's move on to Jason. Jason's 16 years old. He's tested around 30 products and has been doing organic for 9 months. He's at 11,400 in rev, 30 to 35 million views. So not horrible, honestly. Of course, could be better. 9 months, assuming those first 2 to 3 months, just like any other beginner, you had a hard time kind of getting things going. And now you're just now starting to cook a little bit. And that's why you're at 1,100. That kind of makes sense. 30 to 35 million views. Of course, product issue. I mean, that's what on average you're converting at $300 per million views, if I'm not retarded. Okay, so just based on this, I can already tell you half the reason we're converting so low is because both of these accounts you've sent me are on TikTok. Let's see the other one. So there's not much going on. So your biggest account, kind of your biggest sort of success was on TikTok. This is just the facts. You're going to have the highest sales and the most consistent sales with an IG. TikTok only gets worse and worse every day. You got to start trying to lock in on IGs. There's so many different methods of priming them, warming them up, meme page, theme page, buying them, et cetera, et cetera. This is almost always the case with these guys with the high views but low sales. A lot of them are even running good products at some points, but it's always from TikTok. And they always run into bad targeting or, of course, the classic bad concepts that they're going viral with. But just in general, always, you'll see these guys low rev, high views when majority of their success is from TikTok. But let's go ahead and jump into his very first and biggest account here, which is Automods Co. Not a huge fan of these just like little replica toy cars. I know somebody did really decent with them on IG for a minute there, but just in general, they're not that great of a product, and they're definitely not gonna convert like crazy on something like TikTok. Really, basically fucking barely anything converts that crazy on TikTok. But just based on this, we can already kind of get the gist. You have great content. You're already dialed in. Your biggest issue is products, and of course, not being able to get a primed IG or being able to cook on IG. Also, just face value, I would stop doing this sort of concept, these stitched clips. POV, your sister makes car art, but she only gets hate, or she got 140 million followers for destroying cars. This is going to lead to a ton of engagement, but very little sales. So continuing to spam this type of content on top of everything else we just talked about is also only going to lead to you getting more views while still making very little revenue. But on this account, of course, I think you did make the right move here by kind of trying to cycle through products on an account within the same niche to see if you could get something else to pop off or squeeze out more revenue for the views you're doing. And this honestly was a pretty good product to go and do that with. These aren't bad. I hate the variants you chose, to be honest. Something, I know it seems kind of like I'm just being anal, no homo, but like, bro, these are the variants that you're going to be displaying to the viewer to get them to go and then buy your product. I would have probably not just done 2 gray BMWs. I would have done something more exotic. The M4, sure, that makes sense, but why not make it red or green? Just already thinking ahead. I do this all the time, multiple variant products, anything like that. You want to think ahead to the variants or the samples you're ordering for content. You want the best or kind of most exotic or most eye-popping, eye-catching variants. Basically, you want to think of your content ahead of time when you're going to start running a product. Not horrible. To me, what I would do is I would black out this room because the lighting just seems really off. It seems really cheap, to be honest. I would black out this room, blacked out curtains, have an actual light set up in the room just to where it gives it the tiny bit of actual light in the room to where you can just barely notice what you're looking at for this concept specifically. It'll just make the product look 10 times better when they're off. And then, of course, lights completely out once they are turned on. Let's look at some more recent. Yeah, there's something you're doing. It could be even camera settings or something you're doing that makes your content look such low quality and so kind of amateur. The clips you're getting, the angles, it seems like you're just looking at everybody else. They just get nice, really aesthetic clips of going side to side or turning a little bit, and you're kind of just like, oh, I'm just going to copy it. Instead of really trying to get in your craft and like getting that perfect angle where it looks so aesthetic. Some of it even looks shaky at some points. And I'm only being so kind of detailed with yours because you're already a guy that knows content. You're already a guy that's cooked. You've already made a decent and okay amount of rev. You've already done 30 million plus views. You should already be more than locked in on these sort of tiny things like angles and see, like that's so unaesthetic. And look at this. Once again, it's very minor, but I mean, it's like all crooked. This one's kind of crooked. This slant right here tells me the camera's kind of sideways. You would have been much better off just doing one and trying to get that shot really perfect. And then, once again, it kind of just seems like you're looking at everybody else like, oh, they're just getting good clips by moving. And you're just like going and doing it. Like not really trying to sit there and like look at the camera and be like, holy shit, that looks good. Because it's just like you're always at these like awkward distances. You're kind of just twisting the phone. Like there's no sway to it, right? That kind of confidence that I was talking about with the last audit we just did. There's like no, it looks so kind of unconfident and just random, if that makes sense. All of them are pretty unaesthetic. And it's almost like you also couldn't even get down the speed of the clips you were doing. Another golden nugget for you guys. You'll sit there, you can either do it while recording, that's a little overkill, but if I'm gonna go record and I have this audio in mind already, I'll sit there and listen to that shit like 20 times just on repeat so I can get the vibe of the beats and kind of just the flow it has, so then I can replicate that while I'm filming. So if it's a little slower, I know I go a little slower. If I know it speeds up after the bass drop, now the ending or the end of the video with those clips, I can speed it up, et cetera, et cetera. You get what I'm saying. It seems like you are not doing that. Last one on this account, showing my car until I can afford gas. A little bit better. Once again, so unaesthetic. I would also try to fix this. If anything, this type of product, something you could split test as well, but maybe have them higher up on the wall and start doing your text at the bottom. Your setup is just very unaesthetic for this product. And all these sounds you're using are so outdated. I've heard these a trillion times. Do more niche research. Car edits, car highlights. Okay, let's move on to his next account right here, which is Legacy Chains. Looks like he's still creating content for them. So believe it or not, during Q4, I actually knew somebody during Q4 with these products, specifically the Juice WRLD and X ones. They were converting at like 7K per mil on IG with this product, but because the concept they used was so high converting, they had like this elaborate sort of setup to where they were like drawing and doing all this stuff to where it literally looked like they sat there and created these and they were the actual origin of the product, which doing that automatically basically makes the product convert as high as it actually will, because that's immediate customer trust, perceived value goes up, the whole 9 yards. These sort of, hey, I make them myself, they'll convert the highest, but I see a lot of you guys not pulling them off correctly. Kind of like this, for example. Like you're just showing me some random shit. This looks nothing like any of the like this is so random. Looks nothing like any of the necklaces, nothing. That's not gonna pull it off. Also, just a random, what does that sound? Just some random ice cube, I guess, to kind of like that. It just doesn't make sense. You definitely have to dial these in a little bit. And once again, these are super, super saturated, so they're gonna be really hard to pop off with. In general, I personally would never pick these up, especially with the position they're in and how saturated and ran through they are. Once again, get rid of this stitch bullshit. Unless you guys are going to warm up an account or get an account primed, or your account is just literally doing horrible, stop doing these crying hooks and shit so often. They're not going to lead to any sales. They're only going to lead to views. It's okay to implement them every now and again strategically to try and get an account warmed up or get some motion on the account, so then your next few videos get a little boost, whatever, but they're not going to lead to a good amount of sales. So for you, Jason, not only would I pick up another product, because 3 seems to be that sweet spot for absolutely anybody and everybody, even outside of how much workload you have, the mental bandwidth it takes to be able to run like 5, 6, 7 products at a time, it's so hard. Kind of just actually efficiently make every video for every product that good when you're running more than like 3 products. So I would onboard 1 more product, technically 2, because I would get rid of these legacy chains. They're going to be really hard for you to pick up. Your odds of actually going viral with, because your content isn't absolutely horrible. And I'll be honest, with this caliber of content, outside of the stitched videos that you kind of keep whiffing, with this caliber of content, if this was a brand new product that the platform has never seen, 100% you would have went viral. Another golden nugget for you guys. If you bring a new product to the platform and it has a very obvious original factor, you've never seen anybody else run it, you take it straight up off AliExpress or Temu, it 1000% will give you a boost of engagement, because it has such a strong originality factor and the platforms are so not used to seeing it. So I'd get rid of this product. I'd onboard 2 more products, and I would really try to get better at doing optimal niche research for the car account that you keep throwing random car products on. I would lock in on these posters, although they do convert pretty low on TikTok, just like every other product. And I would do better niche research. Audios in general, audios really are going to carry for this product, because there's already so many concepts out there for you to copy and replicate, so many hooks for you to split test. That's not really the issue. It's as simple as it sounds. Up your audio game. And also, if you could, bro, go find better, more original looking variants, because then that will also go into what I was talking about with you being able to go viral easier with a brand new product or a super original product. Now, of course, just looking at all these minor things at face value, it's really hard for me to just genuinely dive in deep and tell you exactly what to do, exactly what to stop doing, what products to pick up, what products to not run, what products to drop, all that good stuff. But if you feel like what you just saw me do for these guys would be insanely valuable for you as well, and on a day-to-day basis, then I want to give you the opportunity to join my one-on-one mentorship program, where I went out and put together a team of some of the best organic dropshippers in the entire space to help me one-on-one mentor you. And with all of us combined having done multiple billions of views and millions of dollars in sales completely organic, we're able to basically just fast track your entire organic dropshipping journey. And as you can see from these guys we just audited, the biggest issue and the biggest bottleneck for anybody and everybody basically that does organic and hasn't made it work is finding the winning products, which is why inside of my mentorship program, we made it the biggest point of the entire program is guaranteed winning products. So that way, that's one less thing you have to worry about. And you'll know once you're inside, you will never, ever have to worry about running another bad product again. And every single product that you're given by us is a for sure winner. And then with those winning products, you have all of your coaches constantly dialing in and tweaking your content through one-on-one calls and a 24/7 WhatsApp group chat to keep you consistently going viral and consistently getting sales, while getting access to all of my personal teams and every single resource that you'll need throughout your entire organic dropshipping journey, basically just handed to you. So if you're interested in this sort of one-on-one mentoring, you can actually book a call with me personally, where we'll sit down and break down and go over your entire organic business and see if you'd be a good fit for the program. But regardless if you do or not, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you want to see more of these, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want me to go over your organic dropshipping business on a video just like this, I'll also leave a form linked down below in the description where you can enter to have a chance of me going over your accounts and your products just like I did on this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.